Hi everyone. In today's video, I'm going to show you the power of this section here, of this title in a Gavel workflow, and how much you can really do with this particular area of the editor. So one of the fun things that I was playing with over the past few days was how could I add more to a Stripe page where instead of just having it be, let's say, for example, where it just has the workflow page name, for example, here, and then you just have the kind of payment portal right here. I wanted to see if I could add some more dynamic elements to this particular page so that, let's say, if we wanted this to be one of the first things that someone encounters so that they pay before they're able to utilize the workflow, how we could give them a little bit of color or context about what the workflow includes. So I thought one of the ways that we can do this is to add a video. So for example, what you can do with this section here at the top, because right here, if you tried to put any alternative, text or some kind of video or something, it's not going to work because that's actually the button language to pay. So there's a lot of functionality going on behind the scenes on this section. And you couldn't really change the variable name in the sense of you wouldn't put something there that's a video or here for the price. So the only place you can actually play with this is really here. So I thought it would be fun to try to see if I could add a video, add an image, add some more text, or whatever else. And you can. So I'm going to show you how I was able to turn it into from here into this really interactive and more engaging way of adding a video that autoplays and loops and some text like this. So you can see that the workflow name and title is bigger. We have some text that is more of a body or paragraph text. And then we have a video that actually auto plays and loops so that before the person buys something using this Stripe payment portal here within Gavel, they're able to get some context or an inside look into what they're going to be purchasing, for example, without having to add an extra page in front of this that does that. So they just have the Stripe payment right underneath the context that you're giving them. So for example, the instructions or a video that goes through and shows them what is behind the scenes and what they're paying for. In this example, I'm going to just use this is in a test mode. So I just need to put in a valid email or just an email kind of configuration, put in the numbers 42, and then put an expiration date that's in the future and put any three numbers. So if I say buy now for 199, it's going to then say your payment has been processed, and it's going to allow us to continue on to the workflow. And then the person can take this workflow that they've now paid for and go on with their day. So the way that you can do this, there's a couple of ways that you can add a video here. The first, I'm just going to go from top to bottom though. So the first thing is how to get the workflow name to have a kind of more header-like look. So if we go back here, for example, so how to turn this into a header and then this into just plain text. So we have here what's called Markdown. If you look at the Gavel help guide on formatting questions, you can see how you can do that here where it says change the sizing of questions. So you can choose this hash mark or hashtag to increase or decrease the standard size of the font on the questionnaire, for example, using 1 for a heading, 2 for a subheading, 3 for a subheading, and so on. So in here, we've just done that where I've just added a little hashtag here in front of the workflow name that I want to be the header on the page. Underneath that, I just simply write whatever context or text that I want to be in more of a body style or paragraph style. And then I have my video code here, which I will show you how I got in a moment. So the reason why I did it this particular way is that I specifically wanted this video to autoplay rather than someone having to come here and click play in order to use it. So if you didn't mind if somebody presses play, then the easier way to do this, well, not necessarily easier, but just an alternative way to do this. In my case, I'm using a Vimeo, a video. So you just use a straight bracket around the word Vimeo and then a space, and then you take the video's number here, which is right at the end, and you can put that here. So now when I save this and run this fresh version, you can see that it doesn't autoplay, but you still have the video here that somebody could play. Now, the way that you can make it to where it autoplays, let's say if you have Vimeo, for example, you go over to the link, the live version on Vimeo, you go to share, and then you're going to see this part where it says embed. So it's going to give us all these options if we say show options. You can come down here, you can change all of this stuff here. So you can make it to where it's responsive rather than fixed, and all the definitions of what this means comes up here when you click on it, which is really helpful. So let's say we want it to be responsive and we don't want the byline, we don't want to show the text link underneath the video. We want this to autoplay and we want this to loop, meaning that after it ends, it's going to restart from the beginning. I can just go ahead then and grab this, copy it, come over to my workflow, replace that section here, paste it here, save it, and now when I run this one, it's going to autoplay and then loop at the end. So at the end of this video, just get it to that section. It's going to stay here, and then it's going to loop again from the beginning. So that's how you're able to take a Vimeo video and make it to where you can have that autoplay. Now, let's say, for example, you have a Vimeo video that is unlisted. So it's not something that you could grab all of the embed codes from here. So the way that you can do that is you can go into your video that's unlisted. Let's say, for example, this one here. This one's privacy is unlisted. So maybe I only filmed this in order to make this a trailer, you could say, or a little video that will go in front of this Stripe payment. Then you can actually embed it from here and you can make it responsive or fixed. Now, the difference is you don't have all these options to autoplay and all that, but you do know how, and you have the code for it from what we just tried with the exercise of getting this one. So what we can do is actually just copy the embed code here, and we can go underneath this one here. We can look for what's different, and what's different is actually from here to about here. So if you see this one says and autoplay, loop, etc., etc., and this one over here from here says badge, auto pause, and has some different stuff. But if we just go all the way down to here and just replace this, and then we take this one off, move this one up, we save it and we run it, then you're going to see that we were able to turn one that would have been fixed and not autoplaying into one that autoplays. It'll also loop at the end, and there it has looped. So that is how you're able to really make the Stripe payment section of Gavel way more interactive and dynamic with more context, so that when somebody is going to go ahead and pay for a workflow, they're going to have this context first. So I hope that was useful, and I'll see you in the next video.